Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about the new reboot show Walker that is based off of the original show Walker, Texas Ranger. So because I was a big fan of the original show, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the differences and what I liked and what I didn't like and all the above of this new show that is starring Jared. But I'm excited for this new show. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about the shows, kind of the differences, and because there's a lot of differences with this new show compared to the original, and I just kind of want to talk about it and possibly do videos later on as the season goes on, talk a little bit more about the show. To start with, the original show, it was called Walker, Texas Ranger. I mean, it's basically Cordell Walker, who's this tough kind of loner Texas Ranger who doesn't always follow the rules, but he is very for the law. He wants to take people down. He knows the system can be corrupt, but he wants to make things right and do it the proper way, sort of deal. And then he's kind of a tough guy. He does the martial arts, of course, because it is Chuck Norris. So he's really big on the martial arts. He takes people down with that. So he's also known as the guy who, like, there was an episode where him and Cordell and Alex were whitewater rafting after he got injured, and they were trying to get him to rest. It ends up being like a murder case. This guy escapes from jail and ends up taking over the group that's whitewater rafting, and he's trying to get over a certain border to not get caught, and he's using these guys, and eventually they find out, and then Walker ends up having to survive in the wilderness and try to get back to the group and save them, sort of deal. I mean, there's a lot of episodes like that where he gets him and Alice get stranded in the wilderness, and they have to find a way and different things like that. So that's the kind of Walker we're looking at. He's kind of the tough guy, the guy that you look at, he gets in the situation, you know he's going to get out of the situation, sort of deal. So then the new show, the reboot, I'm going to read the description that they have for the show because it's a lot and I can't remember crap. It's a re-imaging of a long-running series, Walker, Texas Ranger. Walker follows the adventures of Cordell Walker, a widower and a father of two with his own moral code, as he returns home to Austin after being undercover for 2 years, only to discover there's harder work to be done at home. He must attempt to reconnect with his creative and thoughtful son and his headstrong, somewhat rebellious teenage daughter, and navigate clashes with his family and an ADA brother who stepped in during Walker's absence. His perceptive mother and his traditional rancher father. Walker finds unexpected common ground with his new partner while growing increasingly suspicious about the circumstances surrounding his wife's death. So that is basically the story. It's only one episode so far. So basically, yeah, the shows are very, very different. So I'm a fan of the original, as I said, and before watching the show, I made sure to just try to forget the old show and come into the show with a new perspective on it and kind of be laid back because I know it wasn't going to be the same. But watching it, it was so different. I was kind of surprised. The new show is more family oriented, as the old show is more about the cops or the rangers and the job and that sort of deal. It's just very different. And to start it off, like, Cordell is very, very different. There are some like tweaks here and there that are similar. For example, in the reboot, Mickey, his partner, she brought up later on that she's like, I looked up your file and you've had past where you go off book shows, original show on Walker Texas Ranger, he does the same thing. Like in the pilot episode, in the very beginning, you see him get out of the truck, go into the back, pull the back down, go into this bar, and then he beats up these guys that he's trying to arrest, and then he beats them up, and then he arrests them, and he takes them and puts them back in the truck, and then drives away. Well, later on, you find out that he was actually over the Mexican border, which he has no jurisdiction there. And he went over anyways, got these guys and brought them back. Well, because of that, they couldn't hold these guys, and he was mad. He did something he wasn't supposed to. It wasn't something he should be doing, and he does a lot of that in the original. So that was something that stayed the same. But, as I was saying, in that episode, he gets out, he pulls the truck down, and he goes inside, beats up these people, gets in the truck, and then that's like the first scene of the original show. And then this new show, you see him drive up and talk to his wife. That right there shows the big difference of these characters and how this Cordell Walker is different, but they did incorporate similar things. Like, he was driving a truck. The only difference is his truck is red, and in the earlier seasons of the original show, it was like a blue, like, rundown truck, whereas later on he upgraded to a nicer, like, silver truck, and it kind of was similar to the one in the new show, but it's different at the same time. So yeah, there's like little subtle hints that if you weren't a huge fan of the show like I was, you wouldn't notice. But it's still different. Like the reboot, it's family. It's family. Like his parents are all there alive. His parents are alive in this one, where as in the original, his parents weren't alive. He has kids. He doesn't have kids in the original. He has a brother. He doesn't have a brother. He's an only child in the original. Like, there's so many different things. And there's more of a story. Like, you don't know what happened to his wife. Like, the wife was... She was killed. So, that's kind of... And you don't... And at the end there, they kind of say... Or, Cordell's kind of like, I think there was more that happened that we don't know. And so... that's the story. Well, in the original, there's not really that kind of a story. The pilot episode is 2 hours long, and it's basically Cordell's trying to figure out who killed his partner, because his original partner before Trevette was murdered, and so was shot. I believe shot. I don't remember exactly. But he was shot. I believe he was killed, and the whole pilot episode is 2 hours long, and during that whole time he's trying to figure out he's doing the case where he's trying to figure out who killed his partner, and then they go through these robberies and stuff. But after this 2 hour long episode is over, then it's just new episodes, so it's like a new case every episode. After that, I mean, there's small little story build-ups, like Walker and Alex getting together is a small build-up. And the relationships between the characters is kind of a long build-up, because him and Trevette don't see eye to eye for a while, and then they're really close. Whereas this show, you got the storyline of this, but you also got all these kind of little things going on, and he's trying to figure out, so there's like a story within the whole show that's going on, and so that's another difference. And so, I mean, there's so many things I could bring up. Now, as for what I thought it, for somebody who's a huge fan of the original, I mean, I ended up doing Taekwondo for 10 years because I watched the original Walker, and I was so enthralled with the fact that of martial arts that I wanted to do it, and I spent 10 years doing martial arts. And so now I go back and rewatch the shows, and I'm like, oh, there's a spin hook kick, or oh, there's this kick. I knew the show was going to be different, but I still loved it, even though there was no martial arts in it. For someone who, so like, I was really close to the original show. I was really into it. It was really one of my favorite shows. It was very dear to me. When they announced this reboot, I was really excited, but when I read more into it, that it wasn't going to be similar, it wasn't going to be the same, it took me a while to get used to that fact, but I finally just put it behind me and told myself, hey, go into this without thinking about the original show, and you'll like it. And that's what I did, and I loved it. So I highly recommend, if you are a fan of the original show, if you're willing to give if you're willing to give it a chance and forget about the other show and kind of step, then this show, like, for sure watch it. It's a show to watch for sure if you're willing to do that. If you're not willing to do that, I don't recommend it because it's very different. It's not the same atmosphere. It's not the same. It's totally different. And so I wouldn't recommend if you've seen the original show. Now, if you're a newcomer, of course, it's going to be a fun show to watch because it's new, it's fresh, and yeah, so for sure. If you haven't seen it and you like cop shows and different things like that, crime shows, then this for sure is a show you should watch. If you even like family, like kind of a little bit of drama, then yeah, for sure, watch the show. So I highly recommend it. It's a good show. I love the pilot. I mean, I got my issues with like the martial arts, and I kind of wish they made Cordell a little bit more tough. I don't want to say like he's not tough, but a little bit more like the original Walker, Cordell from the original show, but I can get past it. I do love the fact that it's a storyline. I do love the mystery behind the death of his wife and how that's kind of the drive of the season. I'm really kind of curious to see where that goes. The family dynamic of it and the works. Like, I'm excited to see all that. Honestly, I'm not sure where to go from here. I think that's it. If you guys have your own thoughts about the show, if you liked it or if you didn't, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts and what you guys thought of the show as well. If you're a fan of the original and you watched it, I'm really curious what you guys think. It would be kind of an interesting thing to hear what your guys' perspective is too. I know I talked to my dad, who I watched the original show with a lot, and we kind of had a talk back and forth. He enjoyed it, and so he's gonna keep watching. So I'm kind of curious to see what other people think that have watched the original. So for sure, leave a comment below. Let me know your guys' thoughts as well. So that being said, if you guys liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys again with another video.